Hi, this is Chris with CodeChris.com, and today I'm going to be talking about how it is that I've been learning things. By the time you've seen this video, the internet has been around for a while. The amount of content available is abundant. I needed to learn recently SQL, and I wanted to learn it fast. I won't bore anybody who doesn't know what that is. However, for purposes of this video, it was kind of nice to get a refresher on how I'm learning something from totally scratch. And I thought it was a good time to bring it up. So, how exactly am I learning things quicker? Or how exactly am I trying to absorb knowledge? You can definitely find the written documentation, the visual documentation, the visual reinforcement, and the typing reinforcement. Follow tutorials, follow actual practices, whether it be Team Treehouse has a thing where you can actually do practice quizzes and you can do practice problems where you're typing in the code. The options to you are numerous. And you know what? If it's like a coding game designed for, second graders, who cares? No one's gonna know, and I think I did it to just understand something or just kind of mess around. The point is that you're constantly reinforcing it. If you are constantly reinforcing it into your life and into your learning environment, it's going to start clicking. If it's an abstract idea, in the beginning of me learning programming, it was very easy to be listening to things about conferences and podcasts and all that, and constantly be listening to it in the car, to be listening to it while I was at work instead of music, and just constantly be absorbing that information. Keep hearing words, terms, concepts over and over and over until when I was going on tutorials, now physically reinforcing what I've heard and putting one and one together. And I wouldn't do just something once and believe that, oh yeah, I've absorbed it. I would run through tutorial, don't quite understand it, look up the word, why don't I understand it? Look up other people's responses and what their thoughts are to different questions that are similar to mine. All of that over time compounds, and eventually you get a much better grasp. And it's nice with the internet too, because you have literally tons of tutors that can tell you the exact same thing a million different ways. So if one video or tutorial isn't very clear for you, there is other reading material that you can look at, there is other videos you can look at, and there's other podcasts you can listen to that cover the same material. Another thing that I made sure to consider was what's going on in the industry now. What are sort of things, not just the actual program, but what should I expect moving into the future? Trying to make those determinations about what is a good venue to head towards. My situation might be different than yours. I have to work a full-time job and then learn coding in the background. It's a lot of extra work. It takes a lot more work and diligence and constant repetition. Because in the beginning, you're gonna be motivated to just learn and absorb everything, but you're gonna hit a wall. You're gonna hit some boring stuff. You're gonna hit something that just doesn't quite make sense. And when you hit these walls, you need to just keep persevering and keep going through it, because it's not gonna be clear overnight. And the better approach is actually taking what you have and turning it into a habit. Because motivation, although it's great, it comes in spurts. It's cheap. What you need to do is build a habit. The habit will get you through and build a routine for you so that you're waking up at the same time, that you're putting in the same amount of hours, that you're building some sort of structure and flow, that your day just doesn't quite feel right if you didn't accomplish anything on the computer today, if you didn't write a single line of code, or if you didn't learn a single thing, or review for a half hour, whatever the case is. So you need to put in that time to make it work. Another thing too is it's very easy in the beginning to spread yourself thin. You want to learn everything. You can't learn everything. It's really easy to want to learn everything, but you can't. There's just so much information, so many languages, so much of everything. And you have to allow yourself to focus on one portion at a time. And if you're listening to this and you're brand new to the world, I'm gonna suggest it to you, and you're probably gonna ignore it and kind of dabble a little bit anyways. But all I'm suggesting is don't dabble too much in everything, because eventually you'll end up having to hit a wall on one thing, and you'll want to refocus on that other language, on that other framework, on that other whatever. Don't get bogged down with all of that. Also, before you learn the frameworks, before you learn any cool fancy libraries, learn the language first. The frameworks, the libraries, all of that is icing on the cake to make your job easier, to make your job faster. Although it seems like you might not have to know what's going on underneath the hood, always going to be beneficial for you, because then if something doesn't quite work right, you can understand why it's not working right. That's just a little bit of extra something, slightly off topic. But as far as learning goes, there are tons of resources, and I do mention them as far as Udemy, Udacity, and all that stuff. And I'll probably talk about that more later. The point is the constant reinforcement, the constant going over the same thing. Research the field, find out more about what to expect, what are common things, what are expert level things. Another thing too is that you won't always know quite when you're ready. Don't necessarily quite know when you're ready to start programming or call yourself a programmer or a developer. Take the time to feel comfortable enough that you can create something simple that solves a problem for you. Once you've solved that problem for yourself, start looking into what other problems you can solve. And you'll hit a point very quick at which you're confident enough, even if you don't know everything right now, confident enough that you will be able to find out. You're going to read a lot. Do not depend on videos for everything. You want to read. There is a lot of information. And sometimes the information that you want, a majority of it is going to be in written form. Whether that means forums, Stack Overflow, it's a website, or it means that you're going to have to go into the actual manual and the guides that are available online. You're going to have to actually look and scroll through all that information. Don't be afraid to read. If you don't want to read all the time, this is not the field for you. This is definitely a field where you need to research all the time. This is a field that involves research. So don't be afraid to not know everything and get started right away. You cannot know everything. You just need to have some sort of solid foundation. As you learn more, you'll find out that you can learn things faster. Your first language will take you a little bit of time, but your second will be faster, your third will be faster, and so on and so forth and so forth. There's a lot of overlap, and you can definitely achieve it if you're focused and have that aspiration. I hope this has been helpful to you. My name is Chris with CodeChris.com. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a good day.